going to show you how to make a wreath for the door, a real one, not an artificial one, using foliage out in the garden and some other bits and pieces which are, you know, more artificial, sort of to add a bit of colour. So today I'm going to start off with, I'm just going to show you what you need to make a door wreath. So I've got this, I don't know whether you can see it, a wire frame. Mine's like a heart shape, but you can get them round, any size. This one's quite a big one, but you can sort of do whichever you want. So they're easy enough, found sort of on the internet, craft shops, you know, they all sell them this time of year. So so that's the first thing you need. Second, I'm mossing mine first. Some people just put the greenery straight on the wires. I like to moss mine first because it helps them last longer, I think, because the moss is damp. So obviously the foliage, you'll get some moisture off that, so it makes it last a little bit longer. And again, you can get this, you know, I mean, I've got this off the internet, did the usual trick. Bag, don't need this much at all. Last year I did the same. I think I ordered an even bigger bag, at least I am getting smaller, so I think my mother and my mother-in-law possibly could be getting a Christmas wreath this year. But yeah, I mean, a quarter of that is absolutely plenty. I think this was, is it a kilo? No, it's 500 grams. So yeah, there is, yeah, you can quarter that easily just for one. So anyway, so we got the moss, and when it comes, it's nice and damp. I'll show you close up on how I do it. I'm just going through what I'm using at the moment. So there's your moss. Then I use strips of, this is basically just a bin bag that I've cut up into sort of 2.5 inch strips. So I put that on the back once I've mossed it, to protect the door. Because obviously there's going to be a bit of wire attached to this, so it just stops it from scratching the back of your door a bit. So we've got that. Then obviously, you need your wire. I'm using green wire, so it doesn't sort of show up quite as much. And then also I've cut the wire into little pieces and bent it over. I don't know whether I can show you this bit, you know, a little bit close up, to attach the bin bags onto the back. You can buy florist pins, but if you haven't got them, you can just use the wire. So obviously I've got that, and then I have got some greenery. So this is, I mean, some of this is actually cut off my bottom of my Christmas tree. Waste not, want not. So, and then other bits of greenery. I've got some conifer. I've just got out of my garden, and other bits and pieces. Not entirely sure what all of it is. It's grown in my garden. So leafy green sort of colours, but you can use eucalyptus leaves, all sorts, you know, just anything as long as it's leafy and green. So yeah, I've got those. And then to put in amongst it, again, because if you've seen some of my other videos that I've done on swag to go on the front door, peacock is the theme that I like. So yeah, so I've got all sort of artificial bits and pieces to put in it, like some gold sort of it's like ferny stuff, and some baubles, turquoise baubles. I've put in groups of 3. Wired them like I've done before, you've seen on some of the other videos for when I did the artificial wreath. The same with the pine cones, sprayed them gold, wired them. And then I've got a few little bows in my peacock sort of ribbon that I like. And then I've done a big bow to put on the top. So those are all my bits and pieces that are going to go on my wreath very soon. So I'm just going to clear the deck a bit so I can actually see what I'm doing. And I'll show you how to put the moss on first. So I'll see you in a bit when I've got all that set up. Okay. Right then, so I'm all sort of set up to start. Just use the other half of the bin bag to put underneath here so you can actually see the frame better. So like I said, we've got your heart-shaped frame. You can use any frame you want, a round one. Possibly I think you can get oval ones, but anyway, so I'm going for the heart-shaped one. So anyway, so we got the moss. So got plenty of that. Anyway, so what I'm going to start off with, got my wire. Just going to fasten it to frame. There we go. That's secure there. So yeah, just dollop that on there. You want quite a bit, but you compact it. The more you compact it, obviously, the less the moss is going to dry out. Right, just put that there. Then you just get your wire and just wrap it around the frame like that. Just hold it down tight. And just keep adding to it as you go along. So squish it down. Use all the bits. So yeah, that's all you keep doing. It's really simple. Just keep getting handfuls of moss. And just go around and around with the wire. It don't matter if it looks a bit rough, because obviously you're going to cover it all up with your foliage. Like I said, this is just here just to keep it nice and damp, because you can just keep squirting it down with a spray. Take it off the door first, but so there we go. So you can just see how it's started off. So I'm going to go all the way around the frame till I get to the top and then secure it again. So once I've done that, I will come back to you and you can see how I've got on. So see you in a minute. Okay, so that's that all done. I was just saying the moss I've used is moss that you just put in hanging baskets. So you can get that from any garden centre. So yeah, it'll just keep it all nice and moist. I've actually used half a bag, but I have mossed it very well, so it is quite heavy as well. So yeah, the actual frame size I've used is 35 centimetres by 45 centimetres. So it's about 250 grams of the moss I've used altogether. So that's not too bad. So right, so now we've done that, we're going to start adding the foliage. So like I said, I've got my different bits, my Christmas bits of my Christmas tree, bits of the conifer, sort of a bit more denser, sort of anything as long as, you know, green, lush, but it doesn't have to be green actually, because like I said, you can use eucalyptus leaves, so if there's anything like that will be absolutely fine. Some more. So yeah, so anything like that is absolutely fine. So I didn't secure the wire off. I've left it there because obviously I've got to wrap round. So what I'm going to do is you start off with by making little sort of bunches of your foliage. Sort of put it like that. And just cut that off. Right, so put that there. Take a few bits off, we don't need all of that there. And sort of put that there, and then you can just like wrap the wire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, actually no, I'm going to start off that way, because what I want to do is I want the foliage to go all the way round that way and then go that way. If you were doing a round one, you'd most probably just keep going all the way round so the foliage is all going in the same direction. Because this is a heart shape, I think it's going to look better if the foliage sort of goes out and round and sort of meets in the middle. So I'm going to start at that end, because when I've done that bunch and wired that on, then I'll get another one, and obviously that's a bit big, but and then wire, so you can wire it round like that. So I'll do the first couple. So actually I will take the wire off. There. Just poke it in that bit there just to secure it. Just twist it around there a few times just to hold it in place. So there we go, that's that bit done. So right, so I'm just going to start at the bottom, so I'll just put the wire around the bottom bit. I just twist that round just to hold it again, just secure it. It'll be fine. So right, so I've got my, which I'll just, so you can do them to whatever size you want. Trimming it off, that's it. So they made my first little bunch. So I'm just going to put that there and then just wrap that wire around it and the stem bit a couple of times. So wrap it quite tight because we don't want it sort of dropping out. So yeah, pull it, that's it. So that's that one done. Then get another one, so I'm just gonna use a bit of this Christmas tree, so then that one will go to like that. A bit more of the conifer actually. Another little bit. So then we're going to put that there, put it up quite close so it overlaps nicely, because you don't want any sort of gaps. And what you can do, you can put it over to that side a bit, and then the next one will go over on this side. So again, we've butted it up, twist it round a couple of times. There we go. Getting bits as we go along. And like I said, that one can go along that side, so it's sort of covered up there. You want it to cover up like the sides as well as the top, because obviously you're going to be seeing this all the way around. So again, a couple of goes with the wire. Right, and then when you think you're done, I mean, you can just do all greenery, that's entirely up to you, but then you've got all your bits, and I've got all these bits and pieces to put in amongst it as well. I mean, you can poke them in after you've done them, done the actual wreath, or you can put them in. So obviously, because I'm sort of doing this upside down, so I want so we can put that in, a bit of gold in there, put it in amongst. Actually, I think that's better there. Bit of that. We can have a bit more foliage. Two bits there. Bit of a conifer. Middle. Just add a bit of that, so it's another little bunch. So that, make sure that goes over that side a bit more, and again wire it in a couple of times to make sure it's all secure. So what I'm also going to do is, because I just remembered to put the artificial bits in at the last minute, is actually, because I've got quite a lot, is divide it up into sort of 2 bits, so I don't put it all on this side and find out I've got nothing for this side. So I will do that, and I will carry on. I will do this half, and then I'll show you what that's like, and then I'll finish off the other half, and then we'll put the bow. And also I have got a little peacock just to put in the middle. It's like all my artificial ones, I think I've got a little robin on, but obviously these are peacock colours, so we're going to have a peacock in there somewhere. Okie doke then, I'll come back when I finish the first half. Right, so I've wired the one half, put all my foliage and my bits and pieces in there. So I don't know if you can, if I just hold it up a bit better, see that. So yes, all the foliage goes down to the bottom. This is obviously the top. I haven't done too much on the top here because there's going to be a bow here, so that'll hide that bit. So yeah, there's plenty of foliage. So what I've done is like the little bunches, and then just wired them in, one on one side, one on the other, sort of intertwined them and put a few of my artificial bits and pieces in there. As you're doing it, sort of like hold it up, stand back, have a look, because you want to make sure that you keep the shape of the wire. Sometimes if you put too much bulk in one place, it'll sort of the shape will change. And again, with the round one, you don't want sort of more foliage on one side and hardly anything on another. Well, not unless you're going for that look sort of thing, you're more bushy. But yeah, so it's just do a bit, stand back, have a look at it, sort of titivate if need be. If not, carry on going. So yeah, and like I said, you can do just with foliage on its own with a bow, or you can do the foliage and then add things like cinnamon sticks, orange segments, just natural coloured pine cones. Just wire them beforehand, and then just as you're putting your little bits and pieces in, you know, just wire it in together, and as you're wrapping it around. So there we go. So I'm just going to do the other piece, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all decorated. Well, apart from the bow and the little peacock, I'll show that after. Okay then, right, see you in a bit. Hello, I've wired it all up now, so just show you like that. So see, I've managed to keep the shape of the heart. I mean, you can always trim a few bits off if you think it's sticking out. I have with a few in the centre, a few of the leaves. I've just trimmed it a little bit. So yeah, so that's a lovely heart-shaped wreath. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attach the bow that goes in the middle there, and then also I've got my little peacock. Didn't really see a bit better. So yeah, he's going to go and sort of sit in the bottom somewhere about there, I think, with the his tail hanging down. So that's the next thing I'm going to do, and then I'm going to show you how to put a backing on it so it doesn't sort of end up scratching your door. So I'll put those on, and then we'll start with the backing. Okay, see you in a bit. Right, so to make the backing, I just turn it over and just lay it down really gently. And then we've got our strips of bin bag. And then so what we're going to do is I've got the green wire that I've used here. I've made little sort of like pins. You can get floristry pins, but if you haven't got them, you just got, all it is just a section of wire, fairly long because it's got to go into the moss to hold it solid, and then you just basically sort of bend it into sort of like a U shape. That's all you need to do. It's quite simple. So we start off with our first piece of bin bag. So yeah, so I'm just lying over there, just getting one of the pins. You can see, just move that across. So it's just over there, getting one of the pins and then just pinning it into place on that side. Go underneath. You got the, I don't know whether you can see. Just hold that up carefully. You can just see a little bit of the frame there. So I've gone underneath the frame, so it'll anchor it. So then we're going to do so over there, and another pin, and again just pop it through to hold it down. So then you sort of like fold it over itself into a little bit of a zigzag so it overlaps. And again, one of the pins, just pop it through there. Right. Fold it back over, so it's just a bit like a zigzag or sort of a concertina sort of going over. So always make sure that you've got underneath the wire so it's something to anchor it to, and also it's covering the wire as well, which might scratch your door, because you can see the wires that I've used to wrap round, and you just see the green wire there. Well, it's just, yeah, you don't want that rubbing up against your door. And also it does help to keep the moisture in, which will let your wreath last longer. So we're just going all the way around. I've got that underneath there. Actually, I might cut that one a bit short. Gone too short because you want them to go in a good way. That's it. That's all you keep doing, is just fold it. You don't want it folding over too much because you don't want any gaps, so you want it so they're overlapping all the time, but just sort of in a slight diagonal. So I've got my arm in the way there. That's it. So fold it over again. So it's really simple to do. Like I said, it just protects your door and just helps keep the moisture in. So when it's on the door, you can just take it off if you want to, or just get yeah, like a spray. Just give it a good squirt every now and again, just to keep the moisture in, so it lasts all through the Christmas period. Right, I'm going to keep doing that, and I will come back when it's all finished, so you can have a look and see what it looks like on the finished article. Okay, see you in a minute. So there we go, there you can see I've covered it all around the back, so it's there's no bits of wire, so it's nice and soft up against your door. And also I did put a little loop of wire here, so obviously for hanging up, but I mean you could also just tie some ribbon round for a loop, but I've just put a bit of wire on it for myself. So yeah, I will hang it on the door next, so you can actually see what it looks like up and in position. So okay, see you in a minute. So there we go. There's my wreath for the door in its rightful place on the front door. So I've just got it on a hook thing that goes over the door. I might just lift it up a little bit actually, because the door knocker's sort of in the way. But yeah, so it's still got the nice heart shape. all the greenery and all my little sort of turquoisey baubles and things, so it's sort of like the peacock, so it goes quite nicely with the swag that I've got over on the other side. See that? So yeah, so just to recap how I did it, I did the got the frame, mossed it, wrapping it around with the wire, then I've sort of got all my greenery, put it into bunches and wired it on, and then I wired the all the little ornaments and things in as I went. So I did one way first, then the other. If you did a round one, you just keep going all the same way, and then put the bow on the top, and then turned it over and put the backing on it to stop it scratching my door, and like I said, to keep the moisture in as well. So yeah, just every now and again I just come out and spritz it with a bit of water just to keep it going, but that should last now till well after Christmas. So okay then, I hope you found that interesting. Okay, bye, happy Christmas.